You're listening to Epic Footnote Productions. Go to Linktree/Epic Footnote for links to all of our streaming platforms, YouTube channel, social media pages, and merch site. That's linktr.ee/Epic Footnote.
Hey everyone, what's going on? It's 2 minutes to review. It's Matt.
And it's Zach.
Longest album review in under 2 minutes wins. Kind of taking the classic route this time. Judas Priest. Got a brand new album coming out.
Yeah.
It is, if you haven't heard, it's called Invincible Shield.
And believe it or not, I mean, yes, kind of easy to believe since it's been, they've been around for over 50 freaking years. But here they are, the metal gods themselves, with album number 19. Holy cow. I mean, you've heard us talk about how much we love Judas Priest, how, they were well deserved to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's about darn time that they finally did get in a year or two ago. You also heard Matt and I actually talk about how much we loved their last album, Firepower, back in 2018 when we had just started this little podcast of ours. Matt, I don't know how many times you've seen them live. I've seen them more times than I can even count. Last time I actually saw them was with you. And It's one of those bands that's like, oh, thank goodness that Rob Halford and gang are just still kicking it. Yeah, they've had, some ups and downs in regards to even some of the albums in the 2000s and, a lot of lineup changes and some drama that KK Downing has caused over the years. But, dare I say, I really feel like over the past 5, maybe even 10 years, dare I say, Richie Faulkner has really helped kind of refocus the band. And then with Andy Sneap producing some of the last music, you get an idea as to why fans think that Judas Priest has been stronger than ever. But here we are with album 19 and asking ourselves, do the metal gods still have it? Is Invincible Shield really live up to these legends, these trailblazers' reputation? That's what we're going to find out. You clicked on the picture. You want to know what we think. So let's do it. Matt, without further ado, should we just get into our reviews?
Let's do it.
Would you be surprised if I said I want to go first?
Nope, I don't think anybody is if they've listened at all.
And you can still listen to all of our episodes on any streaming platform you can imagine. Little plug. You count me down. 3, 2, 1, go. So any fear that Firepower may have been a one-off fluke at how good it was almost instantly shot down to flames, because dare I say, Invincible Shield might actually be even better than Firepower. I mean, my God, this is just a superb sounding album from production, but even just song quality. I mean, the singles alone, Panic Attack and Crown of Thorns, are just phenomenal. And then if you listen to The Serpent and the King and you think, man, this could have been like on Painkiller. Well, you're right. It's just songs like Devil in Disguise and even Fight for Your Life. Right now, those two songs are kind of battling it out to be my new, if I was a pro wrestler, that would be my entrance theme songs. But then you got songs like Gates of Hell and the title track and As God Is My Witness that just show that they have not lost their need for speed and just full throttle in your face. But then you got songs like Escape from Reality and Trial by Fire that got a little bit more of the and it's just, I mean, from top to bottom, it's just a superb in-your-face metal album. It just, there's even some moments I'm like, oh my God, Rob Halford, how does he still sing like that? And then Richie Faulkner, as I was starting to kind of praise him in the beginning, his guitar work is superb. Even on songs like Sons of Thunder, where you're like, all right, this is, some good metal by number stuff, but then he comes in with some really tasty guitar licks. You're like, whoa, he just proves that he's worthy of being in Judas Priest. I'm just almost kind of taken aback by how much fun I had listening to this album, to the point that if I would even say now, if you want to know what Judas Priest sounds like, listen to Invincible Shield.
And we got a time and star rating out of 5.
Oof, I'm about to do something pretty remarkable, Matt. I am.
Let me guess.
95% certain.
You're going to give it a 2-star.
I am 95% certain that in the history of Epic Footnote Productions, I have never given a 5-star review or a 5-star ranking. Well, I am going to give this 5, raise your horns all the way up in the air, 5 stars. 5 devil horns, 5 stars. This is a damn freaking good metal album. Like, oh my God, like I was just taken aback by how much I enjoyed this. It's a form of escapism for a metal fan. And it just sounds like an album produced by metal gods to be played in arenas. I can keep going on, and I think I will after Matt, you share your review. I don't want to take up too much more time. So Matt, you ready?
Let's do it.
Get on that motorcycle. Are you hellbound for mother? You ready? 3.
I got a rocking horse.
Yeah, okay. Guys, we're old people in suburbia. That's the best that we're going to do right now is rocking chairs. 3. Now I'm just getting like a terrible image of just you in like leather sitting in a rocking chair for some reason, which is opening up a huge big can of worms. Let's just get into your review. 3, 2, 1, go.
So if you've been familiar with any of the Judas Priest albums that they've put out recently, you're pretty much in for another round of metal that goes just along the same lines of Redeemer of Souls and Firepower. Essentially, it's Judas Priest doing what a modern metal album sounds like again, and it really works. I don't know how they've managed to sound so good. I only can imagine that Andy Sneap has a lot to do with it, because the production, I feel like I've heard albums that have been produced and they've been produced this well. Well, yeah, if you look at Andy Sneap's credits to his name, he's done Opeth, he's done work with Killswitch Engage on the Disarm the Descent album, which is probably one of my favorite Killswitch Engage albums, and it sounds just as good as that one. But I mean, the band, they sound amazing. And the focus that they put on wanting to do the album the way that they did Firepower really kind of shows that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because while I will say that at times it does kind of get formulaic for Judas Priest, I think you can almost overlook that just because how good the songs are. And I wish there was maybe a little bit more variety in their sounds, like, Living After Midnight. Okay, give me a little bit of that type of flavor. Give me a little bit of, you get a lot of the painkiller aspects of Judas Priest, like the speed and the Halford's, soaring vocals. But then they give us something in Giants in the Sky with that they don't do that often, and it's kind of like it's an acoustic, almost Spanish guitar type breakdown, and it's really, really welcome. So I wish they would have done just a little bit more of that. But for anybody who's concerned that Judas Priest may be losing a step or trying to replicate Firepower and maybe not succeeding, have no fear. They've done an amazing job.
Time's locked in. Out of 5 devil horns, what do you give this album?
I'm gonna go 4.5.
Ooh, what's stopping you from giving that 5th full star because of that lack of variety? Or is it
a little bit? It definitely is the lack of variety. I mean, metalheads and Judas Priest fans are gonna be like, well, no, you don't understand Judas Priest, you don't understand metal. Well, guess what? I do. And there even are times where you need that little bit of a break or a little bit of dynamics instead of getting smashed in the head, the entire album. While it is welcome because it's great Judas Priest music, I just think that you need a little bit more of the dynamic. That's really about it. And that's being extremely nitpicky. It's not like a prevalent thing. Like, it would be great because for the sounds that they come up with in the music, they really manage to give very different dynamics. Like, there's, in true Judas Priest fashion, there's like a march type song on here in Devil in Disguise, and it's a good dynamic change. It's not that they're just shredding to shred or formulaic rhythm guitar playing. There is a mix up here, but like I said, in Giants in the Sky, that guitar solo, that acoustic guitar solo, it's a really big surprise, and it's a really good surprise. So just a little bit more of that, not necessarily an acoustic guitar thing, but just a thing where it breaks it up. It would be so welcome.
You know, I don't disagree, and it would have been nice for a little breakup, only in that, to your point, it is just from start to finish, a metal marathon of just fucking pumping you up. And I think only just for the sake of, so I can take like a quick swig of Gatorade to get back into the game, would have been kind of nice. Maybe just like a 2-minute quick little tiny ballad thrown in the middle, just to be like, all right, cool, I got my heart pumping. Let me just, because I'm out of shape, guys. Everyone listening, I'm out of shape. Sometimes like I need a little break too, just to like calm myself down and then get back into it. Because that's what also kind of surprised me, is from start to finish how like this is just off to the gates. This train ain't slowing down. Even with like Crown of Thorns, which is the more slower song, if you want to point to like the less like brutal metal sound album, even that's got a freaking beat to be like, no, I'm not finished here. Like, if anything, this is almost the perfect metal workout album in a way, because it's just it just freaking moves. It's in a great way too. In a great way too.
Yeah, and I was really surprised, like Andy Sneap on his own, because he was a co-producer on the last album, of how amazing he was able to tweak it, because there is a very clear difference in sound between Redeemer of Souls,
absolutely,
Firepower, and Invisible Shield. Invisible Shield sounds the best out of all of them, and listening to this album, it really makes you go back when you listen to Redeemer of Souls and realize how, I don't want to say bad it sounds, but it is not even close to what the other two are. Oh,
in fact,
close.
I always go like, what was it about Redeemer of Souls? Because like the songs on Redeemer of Souls are actually pretty good. What was it that like even like compared to Firepower that album lacked? I'm like, it was the production. It was fine, but Andy Sneap is probably the greatest metal producer today. Like the way that he captures Judas Priest in the studio, making it sound so real, because that's the other thing too. It doesn't sound overproduced. It doesn't, like, I literally can envision Judas Priest standing on a stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people in an arena playing these songs.
Like, I don't know.
That's the keys, playing these songs. Like, it just feels so real, and it's just so freaking good. It highlights how good the songwriting is.
I don't know how they're gonna replicate that sound live, because the production on this is spectacular. Like, but usually I can say that there's something here because, I'm kind of picky about production with how much people have ripped Metallica in the past, because I'm a big Metallica fan, but there's absolutely nothing to rip on here other than, can you get that sound live?
And you know what, though? That's how his production is so good at making them sound so real that I actually have faith that they could pull it off live. Also, maybe it also helps that, like, because I've seen them live so many times and know how great they are and how great they sound, I'm even more confident that, like, if I go to see Judas Priest this year live, and they play these songs, that's what I'm going to hear on the record too. And you know what? This album also, to me, makes me. It's funny because when we were reviewing Hackney Diamonds by Rolling Stones, you were saying how, like, listening to that album, you're like, man, I always thought I was a Beatles guy. This album's making me question whether I'm more of a Rolling Stones guy. I've always kind of given, because always kind of are quick to compare, like, do you love Judas Priest or Iron Maiden more? Like, both bands are very, they're different but very similar in many ways. And I always kind of give Iron Maiden more of the edge sometimes. Like, I always love Judas Priest, but Iron Maiden, this album makes me freaking crushed in that. Not only because if you look at the past few albums that Iron Maiden have released and how, like, lackluster and unmotivated they are, but you listen to this album, it's like, oh my God, they sound like they are even more focused and stronger than ever. Like, Judas Priest is producing quality albums like this still. Maybe I'm more of a Judas Priest guy, and I would even argue that songs like Panic Attack, the first single, there's a little bit of, like, even intricacies that they throw in there to make you go, oh, you think we're just, meat and potatoes metal? listen to this riff, listen to this lick. And I got to give Richie a ton of credit for that too. I mean, he is probably the band's secret weapon at this point. And I think this album proves that shame on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for not including Richie when they inducted Judas Priest, because he's technically not in the Hall of Fame with Judas Priest. Shame on the Hall of Fame for that, because Richie has proven that he's not just a KK Downing clone. He is the real freaking deal. Like those solos on this album is just phenomenal.
Well, let's also not forget about the drumming, right? Like,
oh yeah, Travis Scott's phenomenal.
The drums, like I feel like they, like a lot of people talk about how the drums are like the backbone of the band. I mean, this really ties the room together here. Like, for being as old as these guys are, like the double bass is not stopping the entire album.
People are always quick to point out how Painkiller was such a big game-changing album for Judas Priest. And sometimes, people might be kind of quick to be like, oh, it's because, it's more, speed metal kind of albums. Like, no, it's because Travis Scott joined the band and really freaking, took Judas Priest to the next level and made you hear what everyone kind of assumed Judas Priest was, which was a lean, mean metal machine. His drumming is just, even like Fight of Your Life, which I'm just obsessed with that song. The little drum patterns he adds to that to make it so interesting, and still just like you mentioned, it's not just your standard chugga. Like he finds ways to just make you like do double takes throughout the song. It's just so good call in giving him some flowers too.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this because technically we were given the deluxe edition of the album to listen to, because Fight of Your Life, Vicious Circle, and The Lodger are the 3 songs only on the deluxe edition.
Well, I was like, what in the world? But then if you look at like the streaming platforms, the deluxe edition is basically made available on all the streaming platforms. But I'm like, how? You bring up the point too. I do not envy the band for having to choose which singles to go out first, because like I listen to each one. I'm like, I could hear them justify why this is the single they led with. Was there a song there that you were like, oh my god, this is the song you should freaking lead with, or were you just more taken aback by the whole album?
I can't criticize any choice that they made here.
Oh, I'm not criticizing. I was just like, wow, this is a hard decision.
That's exactly it. Like they could have picked anything and it would have been perfectly fine. Maybe not Giants in the Sky, but really any of the other ones.
Damn good song though.
It is.
Because that Spanish guitar, you're right. It's such a cool little loop.
If there's any other really critical nitpick that I can say, it's like you could have left like the Lodger off of it, but it's like
I enjoyed it.
It's all right.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little change of pace too. That one gave me like late 70s Priest vibes, like early day vibes.
It started to give me like Nostradamus vibes. I was like,
I don't know about that. I don't know if I go back, but
a little. I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna misstep, let's misstep on a deluxe edition song that you threw at the end. It's fine.
Yeah, I still didn't find it to be that much of a misstep. But anyway, can we give some, if we're going to give out flowers, I mean, yeah, Glenn Tippin did amazing, especially considering his condition right now and the battle that he's dealing with health-wise. Ian Hill's bass sounds great, but I think let's give the metal god himself, Rob Halford, some flowers. Like the Serpent and the King. That was some freaking, oh my God. That I was like, I kind of gave up on ever hearing him do Painkiller type vocals again for a while, because even like Firepower kind of lacked that. He sounded great on it, don't get me wrong, but this was like, oh my God, Halford the metal god is back.
This is I think the first time we can honestly say an album of the year contender at its February.
100%. I'm telling you, I'm like so happy with how happy this album made me. I'd even go as far to say that this album reminds me of why I love metal to begin with. Not just Judas Priest, but why I love metal, period. It is a freaking amazing metal album in every single way. And I'll be really amazed if we maybe hear a better metal album this year. It's going to take a lot.
It will. And, well, we got the time. Like I said, it's February.
Honestly, and this is even saying a lot because there's a lot of great metal albums that came out since Firepower came out in 2018. This might be one of the best freaking metal albums of the past 5 years, too. If you're looking from a production standpoint, from a songwriting credit standpoint, like this is a special album, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you stopped listening to this episode right now to start listening to Invincible Shield, I understand. But you know what? None of that really matters. Matt, let's find out who gave the longest review in under 2 minutes. Matt, what was my time? Well, no, that's a different band. A different band. No, let's not start that ugly feud.
Well, if you must know, it took you to give a 5-star review 1 minute and 53 seconds.
Wow. Well, Matt, for you to give a 4.5-star review, it took 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So just over, which means I won.
I guess you got to win sometime.
And you know what? I'm actually really kind of glad I won on this one because this is just such a great freaking album. Like, it's so freaking good that if you decide to, just stop listening to this and listen to the Invincible Shield, I don't blame you. But just remember that you can listen to even more episodes of ours on any streaming platform. And you can also let us know on Facebook, X/Twitter, Threads if you're still on there, TikTok, Instagram, what you actually think of Invincible Shield. I know Matt wants to know, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
So let us know on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel where, like I said, you can hear a ton more of our episodes, including episodes where we explain why Painkiller was the best album in 1990, as well as just why Firepower was one of our favorite albums of 2018. Oh my God. Matt, we're old.
Oh, you just got that memo?
I did. I have a fax machine.
Well, you've reminded me at every turn.
I do. I usually do a great job at reminding you that you're old as fuck.
And you're not far behind.
I'm not far behind. Oh, that makes me feel sad. Thank you, Rob Halford, for making us feel a little bit better and younger through Invincible Shield. Also, thanks to Lucky 13 Beard Co. for making us at least, maybe not look, you know what? I will say, making us look younger and smell at least a little bit better too.
Log on to lucky13beardco.com. And if you've ever been curious about diving into the world of beard bombs and oils, this is how you're going to want to do it because these guys have really got a quality product. We've been sponsored by these guys for so long, not because, well, we have a beard balm and oil with them, but because we honestly believe that it's some of the best stuff that you're going to find out there. If you want to try our beard oil with them, it is the Lemmy. It is in tribute to Lemmy from Motorhead. Bourbon, tobacco, cola, and leather. It smells fantastic. It leaves you feeling amazing, along with all the other products that Lucky 13 has. And we're going to give you 10% off of your entire order. So if you put whatever you want in your cart, you can get 10% off by using the code EFP10 at checkout. Lucky 13, the number, beardco.com.
I know for a fact that Rob Halford himself would probably actually love a beard oil named after Lemmy, someone who he considered a close friend and fellow metalhead too. In fact, Rob, I know you listen to our podcast, so let us know if you'd like to test out a bottle yourselves. We'll have Ed and Lucky 13 send you one. That's, a little tester for you. And you know what would actually look really awesome underneath a leather jacket while you're riding a motorcycle while blasting Judas Priest?
Chaps?
Well, that too. But, so you got the chaps, you got the leather jacket, but then underneath that leather jacket, a really cool Epic Footnote Productions t-shirt. Yeah, and you know what? Throw in a hat there too that has a logo on it. And then when you're done riding a motorcycle, go into your house and drink coffee out of an Epic Footnote coffee mug. I know what you're thinking. Where can I get all this cool stuff? I can't tell you about the leather jacket stuff. I don't really know a guy. But you can get Epic Footnote t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, even hoodies. at the link via our bio page on any of our social medias. That's linktree/Epic Footnote. Go to our social media pages in the bio. You'll find that link, and you'll find out you can get merch from us. Not only will you look kind of cool, I can't actually guarantee you'll look cool, but you'll support us by just helping fund so we can keep doing these kind of episodes, but also so you can let your friends know I like music podcasts produced by Matt and Zach. Thanks so much for listening. Raise those devil horns, or however you want to, whatever cheesy metal quote you want to say at the end of this. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another episode real soon.
Metal!
Yeah!